We're here. It's the High Five Festival. Skip from DK's. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Fresh off that photo shoot I see in the beautiful Long Beach Harbor, the home of Snoop Dogg and Sublime here.
Ah, nice, nice.
Definitely. Now, give us a little bit of background. When you grew up, who were like your musical heroes? Who got you interested in doing music?
Strangely enough, I think probably Jim Henson probably really first got me into music.
Okay.
You know,
The Muppets?
The Muppets, yes. Have to admit it. Probably, then the Ramones probably after that.
We see the shirt.
Right.
Got to pay tribute.
Absolutely.
Richie Ramone in the house.
Yes, yes. And then, quite frankly, Morrissey, of all people. Maybe I shouldn't admit that, but, you know, Morrissey and the Misfits. Definitely Danzig's voice, you know, was very...
I swear the Ramones and the Misfits are still selling so much merch. It's incredible.
Uh-huh.
See so many shirts.
Right, right.
So what was the path of you joining the Dead Kennedys? How did that all happen?
Well, interestingly enough, I was in another band called the Winona Riders, which was on Lookout Records. And we had gone through some personnel changes, and we were going to record an album, and we were looking for a guitarist, and East Bay Ray was actually available at the time. We actually did a few practices with him to record the album, but then the original guitarist from the Winona Riders came back and recorded the record with us. Years go by, the opening with Dead Kennedys appeared. I think they were having issues with whoever was singing with them at the time, and Ray remembered me from the practices that we had with the other band and then got in touch with me. Originally, we were going to do a different band. We were actually going to do a side project for the DK, but then the opportunity came to sing with them on these gigs, and they evidently, it looks like several years later, I still have the part.
Sure, the little part-time gig turned into an ongoing opportunity.
Right, right.
That's awesome. Now, were you a big Dead Kennedys fan prior?
Yes, I would say that I was. My dad raised me on a lot of Italian Western music and surf music, you know, bands like The Ventures and stuff. So when I was first getting into punk rock, and I was more into, like, you know, I mentioned the Ramones, but also like 7 Seconds and Minor Threat, bands like Dead Kennedys and Agent Orange interested me because of that surf sound. You know, often like Ray says that there's more of that Italian Western element that's going on.
So
definitely, you know, that kind of epic kind of music that the DK did back then certainly had my interest. And, you know, as a teenager, you get into like Biafra's lyrics, you know, I mean, the kind of anti-authoritarian approach that they have, that kind of call things as they are. Sure. So yeah, I definitely, you know, listen to the DK from.
Yeah. Well, I know we got an amazing festival today with a great variety, from Richie Ramone to the Sonics, who were out probably in that era with the Ventures and Dick Dale and all those great, you know, eras, and, you know, Naked Ray Gun, which I just played with the Foo Fighters at Wrigley Field. You know, obviously stepping in DK is not easy. I mean, to front a band like this, it's been epic, you know, in so many incredible anthems. What was the hardest thing for you to step in on those first shows and be able to pull off?
You know,
there was a legacy there.
Yes, I mean, the thing was, honestly, it's first the respect for the musicians. It's definitely one reason that I'm in the band, is to highlight the musicians, you know, give them an opportunity to have somebody sing with them in order for them to show what they do. So it's kind of like trying to think of what the hardest thing was in the beginning. It was just simply actually learning the songs before the gigs. There wasn't anything that was really necessarily hard, so to speak. We had 2 small gigs in small clubs. It definitely proved to me at that point that I had to physically work out more, because it's a very physical role to be in the band.
Especially as the front man.
Right,
You're
right.
The focal point.
So that was part of it, and But we did those 2 gigs, and then we did several gigs in the UK pretty quickly after that. I would say I got my feet pretty quickly. I mean, it's kind of like, I would say almost the funniest thing that is still hard is to not talk too much before the songs. You know, it's kind of, I think the literacy of the band kind of is seductive for, I think, anybody that's in that role to like yap a bit more between songs, you know. So that's still actually the hardest part for me, is to kind of, you know, reel that in and let the music speak for itself.
Sure. And what can you say about your fellow compatriots here? I mean, East Bay Ray and Klaus and D.H., they've been doing this for 30-some years. I mean, coming to Southern California in the early 80s and hearing Hardy in Cambodia on K-Rock and all that. What can you say about your fellow members here?
I mean, things that are obvious. Their musicianship is just spectacular, you know, and their professionalism is too. And so that makes it very easy to, you know, get together and present something to people on stage. I mean, you know, that's the part where I'm definitely very lucky to be allowed to participate in the kind of sonic experience that they give to people.
Yeah, and I know all the songs are favorites in one way or the other, but what are your favorites to perform? Is there a song you just can't wait to get to in the set, or
you know,
gives you a little extra?
Yeah, I do like Too Drunk to Fuck. That's always fun. And that, and strangely enough, Winnebago Warrior, that comes pretty early in the set. You know, I like those songs. They've got a you know, a nice satirical edge to them that is fun to play with the audience. I like doing songs like Let's Slinster Landlord and Kill the Poor, mainly because I can let the audience sing the choruses. You know, I think very much my capacity or role for what I end up doing is being able to vocalize the audience. You know, everybody does know these songs. I'm just kind of like a, you know, you could almost say like a peg or something for people to hang on, then, you know, allow them to sing the choruses and stuff like that, you know. So, yes.
Amazing stuff, Skip. Thank you so much for your time. Can't wait for the set.
Sure.
Appreciate it all.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.